Yeah.
To me, Moore is the more impressive quarterback when you stack up Moore and Mendoza side by side. And it was a fantastic first. I mean, this is going to be a great rematch when they face the Hoosiers again.
No doubt.
But to me, like Mendoza has the higher floor, Moore has a greater ceiling.
There's no question. I mean, Mendoza, what you love about him is the calm, the composure, the ability to make basically basic throws within the flow of the game accurately. The question to me is going to be, and we both know this, the NFL. This is like, and people don't realize this until they've been at NCAA, been at P4 practices, and then you go to the NFL practices. I don't care if it's Georgia, Alabama, Indiana, Oregon. The jump in speed is so dramatic. Is Mendoza, who does not have Moore's arm, but he's got the head, is he going to be able to fit balls in and make some of those throws into those tight spots that are closing faster? That's going to be a big debate. That's where we're really going to see how much an anticipatory thrower he is. Because if you're not anticipatory, that window is going to close too fast.
Well, I think it's a very simple. I hate to say it, it's a one read system. It's an RPO system that sets him up for a one read success, like out of that shotgun. Like to me, he doesn't line up under center. He doesn't call plays like they do a hand clap. Like he's not out there like calling an elaborate scheme, right? And I think like when you get to the NFL, now you've got to work under center. Now you've got to be a leader of men. Now you got to have command of the huddle. They go a lot of no huddle. They go line up and just slap and go. There's a lot I think from the mechanical, intricacies of playing the position that Fernando Mendoza just simply doesn't have experience doing.
Well, yeah, the lack of it. I mean, look, last year, Curtis Work had a really good year until he got hurt, and he was a
Yeah.
seventh round pick. So now the good thing is, and I mean, given you're going to be able to find out as scouts what this kid was required to do, what he was allowed to do. Was he allowed to make checks at the line? Was he making any protection calls? All of those things are going to be what teams are going to want to know. Because as an outsider, I can look and say it doesn't look like it. But sometimes certain quarterbacks are so good that the coach gives them more than the offense usually allows. So it'll be interesting to see. I think Mendoza, when I watch him, he looks like that guy, and you hate to say it, but he looks like that guy who's going to be good enough to start and win if he's got talent around him. I don't know if he's going to be the guy who can throw a team on his back and say, hey, boys, let's go. Whereas when you look at Dante Moore could be a guy who is so inconsistent that he never becomes a good starter. But if you can work out some of those kinks, he has those tools to put a team on his back and say, I'm the guy, let's go do this. So that's and that also comes down to organizational philosophy, right? If you're a team that believes we'd rather go safe, we're going to take the guy that we believe is a little more probably likely to never be a bust. You may go with Mendoza and say, all right, this kid will make this most of the throws. He'll be consistent. He won't make the big mistake. He's a great kid, high character. We feel the odds of him not being a starter are low, whereas with Moore, great kid, high character, inconsistent throwing the ball, even though he has rare talent, we think there's a chance he's never going to be a good starter. Do we take him? And that'll be an organizational philosophy decision because I will say there are some comparisons you could make, and I don't want to say that it's true because I did not like Trey Lance when he came out of school. But in terms of all the physical tools, very high character, Dante Moore is unbelievable character, great kid, all the physical talent. Now, Moore is a better college player than Trey Lance was, in my opinion. But there is that question of Trey Lance was a guy who had a no floor. He could fall to nothing, but he had a ceiling that was unbelievable. And obviously, the 49ers decided to roll the dice on it. So it'll be interesting to see which teams and their philosophies, and the Raiders, obviously, with Tom Brady there. Do you wonder? Do you think they might be a team that says we'd rather go cautious? Because Tom was not a great athlete. Tom was not a guy that had world class arm strength. He had a good arm, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't unbelievable. Are they going to err towards we can't miss this pick and we'll go with Mendoza rather than rolling the dice and going with Moore? I mean, it's going to be, to me, this debate going up to the draft is going to be very interesting.
It is, and I think the way I kind of try to view it, like right off the bat, I'm thinking to myself, is that even an upgrade to go from Geno Smith to Mendoza? Like, does that really significantly upgrade your team? And the way I see it, Russ, when you're trying to assess these quote unquote franchise quarterbacks and how they translate at the next level, I look at it like this: like, there's maybe 5 quarterbacks that I would say are franchise signal callers that I would build an organization around, right? And then there's probably another 7 or 8 guys that are in that second tier where you say they're just in a separate class.
Yeah, like the Herbert, the guys
Right.
that are
The Justin Herberts and
the Jalen Hurts, the guys that could be elite but aren't elite all the time.
yeah, and so that leaves about 15, 16, the other half of the league that is just kind of replaceable, right? Like, they can give you a shot to win. They're not going to carry the team on the back. And you want to have one of those. I mean, in an ideal world,
14, but yeah,
right.
You want the top 5.
so like, and I just don't like when I look at Mendoza's characteristics and traits at the next level, I don't see him ever being in that upper echelon category, right? Like, and to me, if you're a team like the Raiders and you're picking number 1 overall and you go lateral from Geno Smith to Mendoza, well, guess what? In 2 years, you're going to be picking number 1 again.
It's possible. I mean, the reality is the Raiders aren't bad just because of Geno. I mean, they have a lot of holes.
Talent depleted team, and I'm not even a Geno Smith fan. I think he's a backup.
Yeah, at this point, I think he is. He had a few good years where he really played what we thought he could be when he came out of college. But
and honestly, if Mendoza was in last year's draft, I would think of him. I would view him as a backup.
I could see that. I
think we're trying to force him into being this.
There always is. I mean, look at every year, right? There's 3, 4, 5 guys go in the first round, where really 2 or 3 are legit guys, and 2 or 3 get pushed up the board. But all that being said, let's be fair. The 6th guy taken 2 years ago, Bo Nix, everybody thought was a game manager, didn't have the tools, wasn't good enough. And I think at this point he's shown, hey, I may not have an elite arm, but I'm good enough to be an NFL starter. I mean, to me, he's more consistent than guys like Justin Herbert at this point in his career. So sometimes it's hard to really get a true feel. Mendoza, to me, looks like a good, solid starter in the NFL. Is he going to be elite? No. But is he going to be solid and consistent? I think he will.
Yeah, and I'd like to get your opinion on these Fernando Mendoza interviews, but he went 14 of 16 there in the Rose Bowl, 3 touchdowns, clean game, 192 yards. That 1-2 combination we mentioned